Hi, it's Chanel and I'm back with a new video. This video is going to be all about foundations. So if you want some tips about foundations, then stay tuned. So the reason I decided to make this video is because when I first started wearing foundation, I was completely and totally confused about where to start or kind of like, I was completely lost. I knew that in the drugstore they carried all these different brands of makeup, but I had no idea how to go in there and pick one out for myself, let alone how to put it on. So I wanted to make this video in order to kind of demystify the whole foundation process, because I know that even though that's the first step, it can be the hardest step to take when you want to start wearing makeup. So I've got some questions that I came up with that I think that once you answer them, they'll help you a little bit in how to choose that foundation. So let's get into them. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what kind of skin do I have? So the three categories of skin is normally divided up into are normal, dry, or oily skin, and sometimes you'll have a combination of one of those three. So when you're picking out a foundation, you want to know what skin type you have so you'll know how your skin is going to react to that kind of foundation. There's different foundations, different finishes, different coverages that work best with each different skin type, so you'll need to know that in order to get a good match. If you have normal skin, you probably don't experience a lot of breakouts. You probably don't experience tightness or flaking. Your skin is probably just regular, normal, and you are the envy of the rest of us. If you have oily skin, you'll probably notice visible oil on your face throughout the day, especially if you're wearing makeup. In your T-zone, which is this area here across your forehead, down your nose, and to your chin. I have oily skin, so normally when I wear makeup and I don't have a if I don't wear something to combat the oil, I'll get visible shiny spots right up in here. And sometimes on my cheeks too. So that's a product of having oily skin. If you have dry skin, then you probably notice flaky areas or tightness around sometimes around your nose, probably around the edges of your face, which tend to be a little drier. So if you have dry skin, you probably experience some of those symptoms. So once you figure out what type of skin you have, then we can get into what type of coverages and finishes you want for your foundation. So once you figured out what type of skin you have, then you can ask yourself the question, what type of coverage do I want to have for my foundation? So if you're like me, then you want to start off with something that's either light coverage or a sheer foundation or a tinted moisturizer. And what a tinted moisturizer is, it's really just a moisturizer, something to add some moisture to your face that has a little bit of color to it, so that it does give you a little bit of coverage, but not really any serious, it's not going to cover up any scars or any acne or anything like that. It's just going to even out your skin tone. So if you have drier skin, or if you have normal skin, then you probably will do well with a tinted moisturizer. I wouldn't recommend people with oily skin to have a tinted moisturizer, because it's probably not going to combat any of the oil that you probably are going to experience throughout the day. So I would suggest that we leave the tinted moisturizers to the normal or dry skin people. For the next level of coverage would be the medium coverage foundations, and those are the ones that I normally use. Very rarely do I use a full coverage. I'm very comfortable with using medium coverage foundations because they do give you a little bit of coverage. They'll cover up a little bit of your scars, and sometimes you can build them up too. You can put on a few different layers to get a little more coverage, but they will not wipe out your skin's texture. They will not wipe out everything about your skin. If you want a lot of coverage, if you are comfortable wearing heavy foundation, and not to say that all full coverage foundation is heavy, but it is going to cover up your skin. It's going to cover up your scars. It's going to cover up discoloration. It's going to cover up, hopefully it covers up pores if it's a good foundation. So if you really want to go for if you want to go for it, if you're like, I'm ready to do this makeup thing, then you want a full coverage foundation. That's going to cover up everything. So don't be surprised when you had a mole here and it's gone, because that's what a full coverage foundation is going to do. So once you figure out what your skin type is and what type of coverage you want, then you can start looking into what finish you want for your foundation. There's different categories of different ways that the people who make foundation classify the looks that foundations give. You have matte, which is no shine, no reflective properties. It's just flat. It's yeah, it doesn't have any shine. It almost can give you the look of a powder sometimes. And it's spelled M-A-T-T-E. That's, why did it do that weird thing? Exactly, I did that. Anyway, yeah, a matte foundation is not going to give you any shine. It's not going to give you a glowy look. It's just going to be a flat, lightless. It's not going to reflect any light, basically. A semi-matte is going to give you a flat look, but it's also going to give you a little bit of a human-like quality. It's going to give you a little bit of shine, but not a whole bunch. It's not going to have any shimmer in it, per se, but it will give you a little bit of shine. The next is Satin foundation, Satin Finish foundation. And that is the foundation that's going to give you the glowy, dewy look. If you think about Jennifer Lopez, she normally looks like that. She probably always wears a satin foundation because she always has all of this beautiful, this glow to her. And if you're going for that kind of look, then you want to pick a foundation that has a satin finish. Some satin finish foundations actually have shimmer in them, so they not only give you a glow, but they'll actually reflect light off of really, really super tiny particles of glitter. Thing about these finishes, there are certain skin types that work best with finishes. So if you have oily skin like me, or if you have oily combination skin, then you're going to want to go with either a matte or a semi-matte foundation. This is why. Your face is going to produce oil, and when it does, it's going to interact with the foundation. What you don't want to happen is to have oily skin mixing with a foundation that already has shimmer or already has properties that are going to make it look shiny. Because if you have normal skin, you can use any of the finishes. Your skin is not going to produce a lot of oil, and it's not going to be too dry where you can't wear a certain foundation. If you have normal skin, then you just take your pick. If you have dry skin, you're not going to want to use a matte foundation. You may get away with semi-matte foundation, but you have to be aware that some matte foundation will cling to dry patches on your skin. And sometimes you'll see any dry patches, it'll start to flake. And when you see flaking mixed with foundation, you're going to have colored flakes coming off of your face. So that's not a good thing. So if you have dry skin, then you want to stick to either a satin finish or a semi-matte finish. So now that you've answered those 3 questions for yourself, what skin type do I have, what coverage do I want, and what finish do I want for my foundation, then you can go out and pick your foundation out. If you want to go for the low end of the price spectrum, then you're going to want to go probably to to the drugstore, or to somewhere like Ulta. If you haven't heard of Ulta, Ulta is a beauty store that sells both high-end cosmetics and drugstore cosmetics. I suggest going to either Ulta, which has both drugstore and high-end foundations, and the drugstore. So your CVS's, I know in some areas of the country, Dwayne Reed's, your Rite Aid's, your Walgreens, those places have plenty of drugstore foundations. And so you're going to have, once you know what coverages and things that you want, you can kind of look and kind of read the back of the package and see exactly what the foundation is going to offer you. So there's different styles, there's different forms that foundations come in addition to all of these coverages and finishes and skin types and all of that. There's different forms that foundations come in. And so you're going to be working with either a liquid foundation, a powder foundation, a stick foundation, or a wait, did I say it wrong? Or a cream foundation, or a mousse foundation. And I have some examples of those real quick. Oh, it's snowing again. Here's a liquid foundation that I have. This is the CoverGirl True Blend foundation. Excuse me. This is a liquid foundation with a pump. And if you're going to get a liquid foundation, I suggest you get one that has a pump. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So this foundation is a semi-matte finish. This is actually what I have on my face right now. So this will be good for people who have normal skin, oily skin, or dry skin. I really like it. It's I did a video on it, in fact. I'll put that in the description bar. But if you're starting off with foundation and you want something that's going to give you a little bit of coverage, this is a medium coverage foundation, I would suggest this for sure. I think this is going to be an easy one to start off with, and it has a whole bunch of shades to pick from. Anyway, here's another mousse or cream foundation. This is one from Boots Botanics, and I got this one from Target. It was, I think I only paid like $2 for it. It was on clearance, but it's a really good foundation. It's I wouldn't say if you have super oily skin it will be good for you, but it worked for me. It worked in the summertime. It gives you a light to medium coverage, and yeah, nice foundation. But this comes in darker colors, so big ups to Boots for thinking about us. Next one, and I'm just throwing these on the floor. Next foundation is a powder foundation. And this one is from Bare Minerals. I got this from the Ipsy Generation Beauty Conference. Normally I probably wouldn't have went for a Bare Minerals because I don't really like powder foundations. But this one was nice. It looks like that, and you just use a brush to get it out the pan. And I'm actually going to do a how to apply foundations video in a little bit. So this video is for talking about them, and then the next video you'll see how to put them on. So this one is good for the powder foundation is no matter what skin type you have. If you have really dry skin, you may run into a couple of problems, but for the most part you can use a powder foundation. You just got to make sure that you're moisturized good. The stick foundation that I have is the Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free Foundation. Why is it doing that? And that is this is a gel. Well, it's a, I don't know what the outside is, but it has a gel core, and it's a nice foundation. It was a little bit drying for me, but it's a nice foundation. I actually did a video on this one as well. But yeah, so you'll just, hey mom, I need you. So you'll just have to decide what kind of, what style foundation you want to go with. So you got liquid, you got a stick, you got cream, you got powder to choose from. And as long as you're equipped with those 3 questions, you should be able to figure out which foundations will be best for you. Yeah, the next video is going to be how to put on foundation. I hope this video helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to like this video if you did like this video, and don't forget to subscribe so we can have a little bit more fun with makeup. Again, my blog is www.simplychanel.com. Don't forget to follow it. I'm on Blog Lovin', I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have Twitter. So just, keep up with me, and see you guys soon. Watch out for that foundation video coming up.